welcome to Edison Open House Global Healthcare 2021. In this issue, we're going to showcase the work of a remarkable company, which is Evogene. It's an Israeli computational biology company, and that involves both AI and big data in an effort to revolutionize the discovery and development of products in the life sciences industries. So I'm very pleased to be joined by its CEO, Ofer Haviv. Ofer, welcome, and a very, very exciting company. But just tell us a bit more, what is computational biology?
Oh, thank you for this question. Today, the whole world is going through a revolution when more and more industries are adapting the power that the computational can bring to this industry to develop a completely new type of product. And when we are talking about computational biology, we are talking about really to integrate the potential exists in big data and how you analyze this data with artificial intelligence method. And when you combine these two tools together with deep understanding of biology, you create a very powerful technology platform that actually can help scientists to develop their products. And when I'm saying to develop the product, so when you develop a product which is based on biology, so the number of variables you need to take into your consideration is huge. And to do it, with human brain or with, a netbook and a paper and a pen, it's impossible. Only very sophisticated algorithms and huge quantity of data can really take all the variables into consideration in order to choose the most promising candidate that will be the basic for your product development. And also when you are starting the development process, when you need to validate your candidates toward commercialization. So when you need to optimize your candidate, again, the number of variables you need to take into account to optimize a specific candidate is huge. And this is another place where you can use our technology in order to direct and accelerate your product development process.
Now, computational biology approaches are being used increasingly, but you've developed a particularly powerful platform, this computational predictive biology platform. Can you explain why this platform is an advance on the computational biology approaches that have been available previously?
I think that this is something that in the basic of Evogene from its initiation, we from day zero recognize that with all the respect to the computational power, without understanding the biology, it's not going to work. So from day zero, actually the founders of the company, they are biologists that understand that there is a huge value in integrating the computational power into the work. So only when you integrate them in a very strong way, you really capture the value of the computational power. In many cases, and sometimes I'm even a little bit sorry to say it, there are companies that are more focusing on the computational aspects without really sometimes digging into the biology. And this is not the way that Evogene is operate. And this is why today we can offer 3 different types of products to our partners, to our customers to use in order to develop their products. We have the first solution we are offering, it's called MicroBoost for companies that want to develop a product which is based on microbe. The second solution we are offering, it's called Generator. And this is if you are developing a product which is based on genomic elements, you will definitely would like to use this technology. And the last one is called Campus. And this is for scientists that want to develop a product which is based on small molecules. In all cases, we integrate into this platform 3 important capabilities: deep understanding of science, big data, and artificial intelligence.
Now, Evogene has got a very interesting structure. So you talked about partnerships there, but also you have some subsidiaries as well. Tell us about those and the areas that they're working in.
Oh, so when you have such an amazing technology that can really accelerate and direct product development, the question is how you capture the value of this technology. So we develop in Evogene 2 types of business model. The first one, which is more common, is that we were entering into an engagement with one of the big companies, one of the first-tier companies, where we together decided what is the product we want to develop. Usually, mainly it's coming from the big company. This is the product that are interesting. And then we were using our technology to identify the most promising candidates. And it could be a product based on microbes, and then we will use our technology to identify the microbes. It could be a product based on small molecules, and then we are going to identify the molecules. We also conduct some early development phase. We do some optimization, and then we deliver the candidate with all the information to our partners for further development and commercialization. The revenue that Evogene can see in such case, it could be based on R&D fee or licensing fee, later on milestone payment when our technology is advancing in our partner pipeline, and probably the most important is royalty from the end product. But this is only one channel on how we commercialize our technology. Starting from 2015, we built a new type of a new business model. And the idea was, instead of developing a product or assist to develop a product to our partners, why not to develop the product for Evogene? So what we decided to do is to, in a specific segment in the industry that can benefit from our technologies, we bring a small group of scientists and we ask them, please use the Evogene technology and develop a specific pipeline for this specific segment. Such an example, we bring chemists and we ask them to use our technology to develop herbicides, insecticides, fungicide. And then we bring another group of scientists and we ask them, you know what, please use our technology to identify microbes in the gut system of human that you can use them as drugs. And what we did is that after a while, we find out that this group of scientists, they succeed to build a very promising early stage pipeline with some very promising product candidates. So what we decided to do is actually to spin out this group of scientists with their product pipeline into a separate entity, separate legal entity, where in the beginning we are holding 100% in this company. And this company have their own CEO, their own board, which are all focusing on the specific segment market they are developing product for. But what is unique for all of this company, they all have a license to use the Evogene technology exclusively to their specific target market. And we are, as the shareholders at the beginning, we support this company with the technology, with funding, and of course also with some corporate issue. But these companies are expected to grow, and they are all expected to stand completely by themselves, including funding. And we are going to benefit from these subsidiaries as shareholders. So this is a very unique business model. And today, when you look at the Evogene group, so we have Evogene, the public entity that holds all the rights to the CPB platform and the 3 engines I mentioned earlier. But then you have a list of subsidiaries, each one of them focusing on a specific market segment, develop their own product to this market segment, and they are using the Evogene technology as their main competitive advantage for developing this product and adding new product to the pipeline.
So you've got LaviBio, which is agricultural. You've got AgPlenus, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, which is also agricultural chemicals. You've got Castera, which is a castor oil production. And you've also got Canonic, which is cannabis-based. But the company that the subsidiary I want to focus on is on Biomica. And Biomica takes up and runs with the microbiome. So the microbiome, just in case people are not aware, is all the collection of microorganisms, bacteria, virus, fungi that live on and within humans. And the thing about the microbiome is that in recent years, we've discovered just how important it is to human health, not only in terms of causing disease, but also being able to prevent disease. And the number of diseases that we're realizing are actually influenced by the microbiome in some way is growing at an extraordinary rate. So not just the kind of gut disorders, which is where a lot of the microbiome is concentrated that you might imagine, but also skin diseases and even psychiatric diseases. So having set up the microbiome there for you, just explain now what Biomica is doing particularly.
So Biomica is focusing on what are the microbes exist in our gut system that by increasing or reducing its quantity, you can cure disease. And I will give you an example that coming from the lead program that Biomica is focusing on. In September last year, 2020, Biomica announced that 4 microbes called a BMS 128, that Biomica identified them by using Evogene microboost technology, and these 4 microbes already exist in our gut system. That when you add them to a patient that suffered from cancer, a patient that maybe didn't respond positively to the most advanced therapeutic drug exists today, what it's called checkpoint inhibitors, that at least one of the drugs that many people are familiar with is called Keytruda, that when you add these 4 microbes together with the drug I mentioned, you improve the efficacy of the drug significantly. And we conduct 2 experiments still in a preclinical stage. When we validate our microbes, we divided the experiment of the mice for 4 different groups. All of them was suffering from cancer. The first group that didn't receive any treatment, of course, they all died. But when we give the anti-PD-1, this is the drugs they exist. It's commercial drug. So we succeed to around 40% from the mice survive. But when we gave the same drug, but this time with BMC 128, more than 50% from the mice survive. And the fourth group of mice, which from our perspective is the most interesting one, what we did is we gave the BMC 128, the 4 microbes, 10 days before we start the treatment with the drug, and we continue to give these microbes in parallel to giving the drugs. And in this case, close to 75% from the mice survive. This is really amazing results. And we are according to our plan, and this is something that we already disclosed, we are planning to initiate our first in-man clinical study this year to validate BMC 128 in human. And the idea here is to have few patients that maybe didn't respond to the existing treatment. And we are now going to repeat, giving them the same checkpoint inhibitors, but this time with BMC 128. And if we will succeed to see that some of them respond positively, this is amazing. And then, of course, we will move directly to phase 2 and on. But this will be something that we will be very, very proud, because if you can help and increase the efficacy of cancer treatment, I don't need to tell you what is the value and how much is important for us also as human beings.
Because we've always assumed, haven't we? It's been this great puzzle about why some people respond to cancer drugs and others not, and we've assumed it's about the genetics of the person, whereas in actual fact, the genetics of their microbiome may be much more important. I mean, it's an absolutely fascinating area. What are more generally, I mean, I'm bowled over by this work, but what are more generally the milestones that we should be looking at with Biomica and your other subsidiaries over the coming year?
Okay, so I will focus mainly on our the 4 subsidiaries that you mentioned, I think, your name earlier. So with respect to Biomica, I think that again, hopefully we'll have positive results in our first clinical trial. There is other 2 companies, other 2 programs in addition that Biomica is focusing on. Some of them is expected to end the preclinical trial this year, 2021, and hopefully with the positive results, based on positive results, it will move to the clinical trial at 2022. So this is with respect to Biomica, but as I said, the most promising and excited program, it's an immune oncology activity. With respect to Canonic, this is our company that's focusing on cannabis, medical cannabis. I'm sure that you know that here in Israel, which is the third market in size in the world, it's legal. I'm talking, of course, only on medical cannabis. And we are focusing on developing new variety by improving the cannabis genome to address specific needs in the medical cannabis market. So again, we are using our technology to change the plant genome. Again, maybe it's worth to mention that it's non-GMO modification. It's through a different approach. And the idea here to bring a completely new variety, which lead to completely new type of product to the cannabis market. The expectation is that our first product will be launched at 2022, and hopefully we'll be able to announce the first variety entering into commercialization production during 2021. Moving on to AgPlanus. AgPlanus is our company that's focusing on developing herbicides and insecticides. I will focus on the herbicides program. This is, by the way, there is a huge need in the ag chemical industry for new novel herbicides. In 2020, at the end of the year, we announced that we succeed to achieve what is called elite phase, which means that we validate our chemistry in the field level, and we show that it's our chemistry can kill weeds that develop resistance to the existing commercial product. And next year, we are going to expand the experiment with these lead compounds and also go through some safety validation. And my expectation is that this could lead to a strategic collaboration agreement with one of the big ag chemical companies. I can tell you that we are already talking with a significant portion from this company on this specific candidate. Last but not least is Lavie Bio, our company that's focusing on ag biological for agriculture. Here we're talking about a biostimulant, which is microbe that when you put them in the field, you improve yield performance and strengthens the crop. And they're focusing on biopesticides. With these microbes, when you put them in the field, you protect the crop from a different type of fungi or insect. By the way, this is the ag segment that's growing the fastest in the last few years, because most of the consumers are looking for a product that was grown by using a biological type of product and not using chemistry or genomic modification. So the lead product of this company is a biostimulant for spring wheat and is expected to reach to the market at 2022. And next year, we will hopefully finish the last field trial together with local farmers in North Dakota, USA. It's going to be the 4th year of validation of our leading product. And this is another important milestone for Lavie Bio for next year. In high level, in Evogene, we are very happy with the progress of these 4 companies, but we already start to continue to validate new opportunity, new area where you can use our technology. And one of the areas that I'm very, very excited and we start to explore is how we can use the CRISPR technology to develop new type of products. And
I'm so glad you said this, because there's been such a buzz about your work in this area. And actually, CRISPR has been hyped a lot, and the thing that everybody says, oh, it's so exquisitely precise and it's so easy. And yes, some of that is true. But actually, there are, the things that you want to be concerned about is, are there off-target effects? Are there has it actually worked? And presumably that's where you can add particular value.
So you're 100% correct. The revolution that this concept of CRISPR-Cas brings to the world, it's amazing. It's a technology that can really modify the genome in a very precise way. Still, using this technology for commercial application, the level of technology you need is a little bit higher than where it is today, which what is okay for the academic research and for publication, not necessarily it's good enough when you're moving to the commercial level. And there are a few challenges that we identify that you really need to, that you can address them using computational technology, and then you can take this technology to the level that commercial company can start to benefit from. One area is what it's called guided RNA. If you know, to make it very simple, Cas9, it's like a scissor that is cutting the DNA in a specific place, and then you can do some modification, and then the DNA is closed again. But now it looks different, and of course, then it's lead to different activity of the cell. The problem is how you guide the scissor to the specific place you want to cut in the DNA. And the fragment, the DNA fragment that is telling to the scissor where to do it, it's called guided RNA. And to design what is the right guided RNA that will take the scissor to the specific place, it's not a trivial question. And we are in Evogene, together with some other companies and academic institutions here in Israel, we established a consortium that is funded by the Israeli government, by the Authority of Innovation, and we are trying together to solve certain questions that could today limit the use of the genome editing technology, CRISPR-Cas, and hopefully we will succeed to come with a new solution, and then together with the other parts of Evogene technology, we can offer something very, very unique to the industry in the area of genome editing. And of course, we will take it internally to specific utilization with commercial purpose.
It's a fascinating conversation with you, Ofer. I consider it a privilege to have spent this time with you talking about Evogene. It sounds as though you are going to be extraordinarily busy over the next 12 months, and I very much look forward to hearing from you again in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed the talk as well.